So it's Mike Matthews. I'm the host of the, let me see if I can do this from memory, longest running self-produced podcast in the history of planet Earth. Is that correctly said and stated? The longest running self-produced daily podcast. Yes, which is Mike's daily podcast. And the self-producing means that yours truly produces it. So I want you to enjoy today's podcast. This is so crammed full of facts that some of them make you go, wait, what? What? Huh? This is crazy nuts. So we're going to find it all out together as I open up the door for you here and we go into Café Anyway. Café Anyway. Welcome to Café Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It is FF episode 2933, 2933 of Mike Matthews at Café Anyway, located somewhere in podCastro Valley. Mike's Daily Podcast. The land of Ameritopica, the last place on earth. And it's Mike Matthews singing. I'm seeing a lot of those Halloween things bringing me all kinds of chills and scary thoughts, because I see all those skeletons that somebody bought for way too much money, and then they're going to be used for a little bit and thrown out. Mike's Daily Podcast. Or on Halloween, the day after Halloween, isn't that Dia de los Muertos? Somewhere in there, they're going to just leave them daily in front of the house podcast with a note that says free. Yeah! Gratis. Something like that. It'll say that. So I am excited. I'm in the mood for Halloween, and I'm going to, as every year, I never can come up with a costume. My body doesn't really lend itself to costumes. I can't, I guess I got the bald head. I could probably do Uncle Fester, Dr. Evil. It's Kojak. Nobody remembers Kojak, though. You can't watch Kojak anywhere. I've tried. Who Loves You Baby? That thing. Can't find that. So that's what I got in store for Halloween, and what I'm excited about is probably you are as well. You know what you probably are not excited about, and probably you're a little bit bummed out about, and that is when you go to McDonald's, because I know you love to go. Their menu prices are up an average of 40%. Not 10, not 5%, but practically almost 50%. Yes, 40%. Since 2019, since before COVID. Oh, those simpler, cheaper times. Their higher subtotals are the result of meat packers' greedflation. Meat packers want more money, and so they're passing the savings.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Or the non-savings. That would be more expenses onto you. But you know what? Probably not the eating of the McDonald's is good for you. It's going to help you, make you a healthier person. And you remember during COVID and all the other diseases and the bovine flu and everything, the avian flu, and it affects cows now, which affects people. And there's something like 6 cases in California now. I think it's just all, the culling of herds here and there. It's got to increase the cost of growing meat, raising meat. Basil like to eat meat, like to chase a cow now and then. Hey, cow, you're going to be chased now by Bow Wow, Basil the boxer. Which you shouldn't do that if you're a dog owner. Get your dog on a leash when you're walking past a cow. In a lot of the open areas, the green spaces in the Bay Area, you got East Bay Regional Park District, which runs a lot of these nice, big, wide open parks that you can let your dog off leash. But when you see a cow, you got to be careful, because dogs will do all kinds of crazy stuff with cows. And the cows will kick them in the face. There's a couple times Basil could have been killed by a cow. And one particular time, as Basil's back legs were going out, the cow chased him and he fell down on his back, the dog, my dog, and was just laying there in this don't hurt me position, and the cow went over, sniffed him in his soft parts, and walked away. And I said, thank you, cow. I'm never going to eat hamburger again. And I'm going to keep him on the leash from now on. I learned my lesson. That was dumb. Speaking of dogs, you can see a bunch of dogs there in the video.
That's legit.
The legit video that I am posted of this podcast at my Facebook account, facebook.com/Mike's Daily Podcast. It'll be up for 30 days after this podcast has been listened to when it first comes out. So that's what's happening there. I've been trying to not eat as much beef. Every once in a while, when I'm at a taqueria, maybe I'll have the grilled steak in my burrito, but I'm trying to get away from it. Especially because once you're in your 50s, you really got to watch that. Really. It's serious time. Hey, okay, a couple other things here. One of them being that Tesla rolled out their prototype for a 2-seat self-driving car with no steering wheel. Heard about that event last week. The Cybercab is going to enter production by 2026. Not 2025, but 2026. So you got to wait a while. And it's going to cost under $30,000. And Tesla, upon that news, their stocks fell, their shares fell 8%. And then something like Uber and Waymo and Cruise and all those.
I can't believe, what the hell is this place anyway?
Their stock went up. You're at Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Welcome. So that was a big event. And I don't know, Teslas. I get stuck behind Teslas all the time here in the Bay Area, and the drivers can't drive. I don't know if it's that they're just relying too much on the self-driving function, or they're just not paying attention because Elon likes to, because of his autism, likes to oversaturate people with stimulation. His drivers are oversaturated with the big screen. I'm going to put a big screen right in the middle of the dash. That won't affect their driving. They can't drive. Tesla drivers cannot drive. And if you've learned anything from today's podcast, it's that. You're welcome. And in other tech news, Apple headsets stalls. Struggles to attract killer app in the first year. Software developers haven't embraced Vision Pro from Apple, which has lower than expected sales in its first year. I didn't even know about it. But whatever, I'm not a virtual reality, visual type person. I like the real reality, not the virtual reality. The real reality is a lot more interesting.
Anyway.
Anyway, Café Anyway. Oh, as a podcaster, I make $0 off of this podcast. If you would like to sponsor the podcast, maybe I'll make a couple more than $0, but that's there on the table as we go outside and leave the tables inside a Café Anyway and check out the outside. Oh, so nice. Here in Podcaster Valley, the last place on earth in the land of Ameritopica. So let's say you want to be in baseball. Well, the 3 teams that spend the most, they are in the League Championship Series, Mets, Yankees, and Dodgers, and they are the top 3 payrolls. They are baseball's top 3 payrolls. The Mets, their top payroll is at, the Mets is at the top. Let's look at the top 4. Okay, let's do it in reverse because I already told you who's number 1. They're at the top with $332 million. That's how much money they spend in their payroll. And let me just say right now, I do not ever talk sports. Thanks, kids. I never talk sports on this show. I hate. I'm rubbed completely the wrong way. I am agitated by sports talk. And I got a lot of friends that do podcasts where they talk sports. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. All you're doing is talking about guys that you have this fan worship of them, and you want to be them, and you scrutinize every little thing they do on the field. And you're like, oh my gosh, he threw a touchdown. Woo, I bet he can throw a touchdown this week. Oh, by golly. Oh, that's so much wasted time I don't understand sports. You probably didn't get that from what I have just said. I find it fascinating how much money is spent on sports. I can't believe when I went to there was a guy I knew that got me into. Here's the thing. I have never, ever, ever paid for any sports game I've ever gone into. I'm pretty sure that statement is true. I was invited years ago when I was just a little guy in 1984 when the Olympics were in Los Angeles. My friend Derek.
You ready?
He said, you ready? You want to go to the Olympics? We're going to see the soccer championships, the final world football championship in the Olympics. So I went. It was at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, and I got to go for free. I can't tell you anything that happened on the field. All I can tell you is Derek and I walked all around the stadium. I was more fascinated by the stadium, by the architecture, and eating than watching a bunch of guys who are way more athletic than me, even as a young kid. Just don't get it. I don't get it. And my ex-wife's brother he makes a lot of money because he's in the Silicon Valley cyber industry. He's a salesman. He makes so much money. He's got a house in San Francisco. He has so many TVs in his living room, and he's just watching. He's got like 8 football games all going on at the same time. Football and everything else. And he's just watching. He's just consumed by it. I don't get it. And he's a nice guy. And, we tried to connect on, I guess, music. We talk about music, talk about some movies. But, oh my gosh, when it came to sports, I'm like, you go, dude. That you be you. You're crazy. You're spending way too much money on this stuff. I don't get it. Whatever. The only thing that lulled me in, that attracted me and pulled me in slightly was the food. All the food.
Oh, wow. That's wild.
So my ex-wife's dad was a huge Raiders fan. Huge sports football fan. He just sat there all weekend watching sports. And he did a really nice thing. He bought me a Raiders shirt, which I wear once in a blue moon. I still have it. It's now a bit of historical. It's a relic. It's what it is. It belongs in a museum now. Oh, and there was some news about Tom Brady and the Raiders today, I think. I heard today or the other day. But here's the thing, is that what got me into, he's like, Mike, here we go. We're going to this game. Yeah, okay. Look at all this food. Oh, I'm interested now. Oh, wow, this is delicious. What is this? Oh, they're cooking it in the tailgate party in the parking lot. Oh, cool. So I experienced that, and I understand that. And if I ever go back to Alabama, someday I should really go to a Roll Tide game, the Crimson Tide, those guys.
It's Bison Bentleys. Do you know that?
Hey, this is Bison Bentley, and Mike Matthews has a couple of stories that'll make you want to ask yourself, do you know that?
Do you know that there are way too many sports podcasts, way too many sports talk shows on the radio, on YouTube? Oh my gosh, so now anybody put on some headphones, or they usually don't wear headphones. They set up their microphones and they go, I bet so-and-so, I bet Dirt Doodad is gonna run. He's gonna make it down to the end, and he's gonna make a home run football derby touchdown. No, he's not. He sucked. He lost it and hit a foul ball and got tackled in this game. And plus, they pay way too much money for him, and he's done nothing for the team. I hate to lose. Oh, there's this guy I talked to the other day, and what I liked because he's a big sports man, but he diversifies. So if one team that he loves starts to really blow it, he cashes out. He stops. That's the other thing. Oh my gosh, I just said cash, and I just backed into this whole betting thing. that's allowed. Oh my gosh, there's so much money being
Do you
spent.
have any safe spaces?
Safe spaces?
Yes, where people can go to get away from the colonialist mentality. As long as there's a diversity, equity, and inclusion policy, we'll be fine.
We'll be just great. Yeah, all the money that's spent on sports betting. Oh, that's terrible. There's a lot of marriages that are breaking up over that. And I know I've spent stupid money on stupid things. I'm looking at my wall of CDs here. Well, a lot of them I got for free from radio, but I remember paying for that one and that one and that one. But dang, it is crazy. So, okay, number one, the Mets with $332 million. Number two, Yankees at $311 million. So there you go. I know those are two New York teams at the top. Then you got the Dodgers, Dodger Blue. I know that. I went and saw a YouTube show at Dodger Stadium, and Public Enemy opened for him, and Bono talked to Elvira on the satellite TV, which was amazing. It was this huge screen, and it was via satellite, and it was on Halloween. Back to Halloween. Ding, ding. I do have a ding, ding. it's phrasing. So what I'm saying is, I do know Dodger Stadium. I did go to a game and once saw Fernando Valenzuela. Once again, I didn't have to pay for the game. I was taken to the game.
That's enough. Put down the mic.
But I'm not done. Please, let me finish. Look, if I go to one of your town hall meetings, former Mr. President, and I pass out and I faint, will you promise me you'll sing Ave Maria and do a little concert? This is wow. And you know what? It reminds me of Bill Clinton with the saxophone with Arsenio Hall, and Bill Clinton won that election. So there you go. Think about that. People like their singers. Kamala needs to start singing. Here's the thing: is that every single that Raiders game I went to, my father-in-law paid for that. All these baseball games I got to go to, there was a guy I knew who ended up being a complete narcissist that I knew in radio. He took me to all these games, and I went and bought the beer, and the beer was like $80. It was crazy, but that was a free game to go to.
Note to self.
Note to self. That's my note, is that any game I've ever gone to, I've never had to pay for. There may have been some games back in high school that I paid to go see, some football games. I wanted to show my high school spirit, my team spirit. Finally, at number 4, the Guardians. They pay their payrolls $109 million that they pay. Hey, and one last thing. This is fascinating. SpaceX successfully caught its Starship's booster using metal chopsticks at its Texas launch pad last weekend. The booster's return is a milestone for U.S.'s broader space aspirations. You heard that NASA launched a probe to go off to Jupiter, one of Jupiter's moons. Was it Io? To see if there's life there. Reusable Starship. The SpaceX reusable Starship needed to send people to the moon. Oh my gosh. So I got this from Rob Black. I produce his podcast. He's heard on AM 1220 KDOW weekday mornings. And then he is on Cron TV Monday through Thursday.
Mike Matthews? You not know Mike Matthews.
I am.
Really?
Eminem.
That's what I am.
We got Eminem.
They're very excited to hear my name.
The real Eminem.
It's like I'm back on the school playground. Rob does not use articles or consonants he drops so much verbiage from his sentences. But so here's a sentence he wrote. Reusable Starship needed to send people to the moon and Mars. I feel like there's a verb or something missing in that sentence. Anyway, Starship, the biggest and greatest band of all time. We built this city. Oh, no. The reusable Starship is the biggest and most powerful rocket in the world. Don't forget Sarah. And No Way Out. She doesn't buy my story. Or Janie, Jane, you're playing a game. Let's see. It's 400 feet tall, taller than the Statue of Liberty. The SpaceX spaceship. Reusable rockets dramatically lower costs and can theoretically be sent up to space again. Quickly at the, what is this, opera? It's not going to work. Okay, thank you for that interlude. It can theoretically be sent up to space again quickly after completing a mission. Starship is key to NASA's ambitions to land humans on the moon for the first time since the 70s. Since I was a wee little boy, Musk wants the Starship to take humans to Mars. And he wants them to get back together again and make another album. And another great song like, we can build this thing together, stand the storm forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. The 5 uncrewed test flights to the Red Planet are slotted for the next 2 years. See, that sentence could have been, there are 5 uncrewed test flights to the Red Planet that have been slotted for the next 2 years. He just dropped the have been and there are and everything. He just dropped so many words. Why? Oh, one last interesting thing about the payrolls.
Ever since I got elected, Republicans have attacked me by saying that I should go back to bartending. But let me tell you, I'm happy to any day of the week because there is nothing wrong with working for a living.
Yes, actually working. Working hard. Thank you, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. 7 of the last 21 champions have had payrolls outside the top 10. I don't know what that means, but okay. Thanks. All that great sports information and more. But look who's outside a Café Anyway somewhere in PodCastro Valley. Hello, Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. I own the gift shop, and I work hard, Mike Matthews, because there's nothing better or wrong than working for a living, Mike Matthews. Yes, there's nothing better or wrong. Wait, what? Okay. Thank you. Snow globes, are they selling? Yeah, Mike Matthews, we have the fall snow globes. You shake them, and instead of snow, it's leaves. Oh, that's exciting. Look who else is here. Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman.
Brewmaster.
And this is John Deere, the engineer. I'm sorry, I said Burgermaster in a woman's voice. That was you? Wait, what? There's all kinds of confusion here at the end of the show. Well, what do you think? You can give me a call.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
What the heck? Look at this. Okay, somebody sent me this. Baby boomer and Gen Z job applicants have different processes when building their resumes and probably lean towards different fonts. No matter what age an applicant is, one thing is certain.
Oh, would you look at that? Another human being with a smaller creature attached to a leash.
What?
Hi, I'm JD Vance.
It's JD Vance!
What's that? Are you asking what kind of breed he is? For how long? For how old he is or how long I've had him? How long have you been walking?
How long have you been walking
I'm
the
sorry,
dog?
Are you asking how our walk? Okay, good.
I'm JD Vance.
I love to mingle with the people. Here comes another one now. Hi, I'm JD Vance.
I'm a nice guy.
How did you install those little wheels under your feet? You mean my rollerblades? Okay, good. So how long have you been walking? Walking where? Okay, good.
Okay, good. JD Vance, he likes to ask questions. No matter what age an applicant is, one thing is certain, your resume design could cost you a job. That's according to 61% of hiring managers. In a new study, this came from NorthStarInbound.net. And they said that their key findings, a Times New Roman, you know that font? Okay, they say that's good. Arial and Helvetica. Aren't those the only ones that's like what you default to when you're trying to write something? Well, apparently they are the best resume fonts, according to managers overall. Gen Z and millennial managers, their favorites are Times New Roman and Georgia Georgia, the font Georgia. Oh, Georgia.
Anarchy! I don't even know what that means, but I love it.
Gen X, hi, I'm one of those. And baby boomer managers' their favorites are Arial, Times New Roman, and for Gen X, they like most Verdana. Oh, this person can't write either, but it's not the same one as the last guy. It's not Rob. Boomers like Verdana. Gen X like Times New Roman and Arial. Okay. Finally, Gen Z and baby boomers are most likely to use AI tools to review resumes because they're smart. And Gen Z managers are most open to AI resumes. Oh, and here's the things that hiring managers hate the most. And I have hired many times, and I could probably concur. I concur on these things. Inconsistent formatting, cluttered layout, but the worst, don't use emojis on your resume. There we go. We've solved that problem. Thank you for listening to the show. Next show, we will hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. But let's find out more things about Mike's Daily Podcast at mikesdailypodcast.com as we go to the mainframe and hear from A-Frame. Thank you so much for listening.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!